All right. We live.
Oh, good. You fixed it.
We're live.
This one doesn't say live.
Do what?
So this one doesn't say live.
It's because it's always behind just a little bit.
View channel. Live. Says upcoming. There you go. Okay.
You're live.
All right. Now I'll get in here and fix a bunch of stuff. So what time did you end up getting home?
I got home at like 5:45, something like that.
Oh, wow. So you haven't been home very long.
No.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, you did go.
Hey, Daniel, welcome to the page. It's always good to go to the gym. It's probably more important than getting pores or whatever. So get them gains.
Get them gains.
That's what they say, right? That's what the kids say. Get them gains.
You've never sounded sold to me in my life.
Well, that's what they say. What's up, Eric? Cheers to you too.
Just gonna.
What's up, Joe? We'll just kind of hang out here till some more people get on or whatever.
Is there too many characters in it? There is.
Makes sense, William. What's up, Randall from Virginia? We've been at Green River all day, so no telling what our palates are going to be like tonight.
Trash.
Probably trash.
Fully expect trash.
Yeah. But we did do a Green River pick, so that's always good.
We did. We actually did 2.
Yeah. We actually did 2.
Guess I'll go ahead and set both of these right here.
Hello, Gary. What's up, buddy? No, we will not be. At least I can speak for myself, Daniel. I will not be doing the Evernorth LE on Saturday.
No, I've worked, sadly.
I'm not saying sadly. I don't really want to travel right now. I've been traveling enough, and the thought of being in a car for 5 to 6 hours makes me want to throw up in the mouth. So we're just going to not do that.
Wow.
No disrespect to Dan and Sean, but
if I didn't have work, I would be there.
I'm sure you would.
And it's easy for me to say because I've worked, so of course I can say that.
Yep.
So
yeah, Frankie. Yep. Green River coming to the Patreon world in the near future for sure. William, I do think at times it depends on kind of what the cigar is and actually kind of what the bourbon is too. I think sometimes it helps the enhance the taste of it, and sometimes I do think it kind of changes what the bourbon tastes like. So, and I don't know enough about cigars to know which ones do which and all that good stuff, other than, there are times where I feel like a cigar would taste good with a certain bourbon and all that stuff. What's up, Eric? How's Orlando treating you tonight? Hey, Libby. You're on here by yourself tonight, only under Libby. So, yeah, our weather's great here too, but the weather's supposed to be terrible tomorrow for Halloween. So it's always good. It's been great for like 3 weeks, and the one day you need it to be great,
I know,
that's be
right?
terrible.
It's so disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's up, Justin?
Okay, let's try this again.
Oh, okay, good, Keith. I was worried if you were here or not. Gary, my team is terrible, so our choosing of the days that we live stream have nothing to do with football whatsoever. So sadly,
No, both of our teams, we cheer for the same teams in football and college sports.
yeah,
So right now everything sucks. So it makes everything really
Yeah.
simple.
yes, it does.
Pro, my team's going to suck regardless. In pro basketball, they're going to suck. And the Yankees at least just didn't get swept in the World Series.
Did they end up winning last night?
They won.
Okay,
So they at least didn't get swept.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's good.
they broke them after the first game. I was like, it was kind of a heartbreaking loss, but
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't expect it to go like this. I didn't know if they would win, but still, not great.
Anthony, these are just so we did the barrel picks actually at Green River with several of your Patreon compadres, and this is the sample that they gave us. So not only did we get heavy pours,
Yeah, they actually did a pretty good job. Most of the time they don't always refill it.
Yeah,
and they filled it up for us and gave it
So,
to us. So in the one, he was like, "Are you sure you want to do it?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm taking a full one of that one."
yeah,
So
yeah. So I mean, we'll just talk about it a little bit here and there, and we'll kind of reiterate it as we go through. But yeah, Justin, the Cowboys, I just don't know what to think about them. They could reel off 3 straight wins.
no, they're not.
Or they could be 3-8 by the time this whole thing goes on.
Look, they play. Do they have the potential to play well? Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Are they? No, they have terrible coaching.
Keith, that's awesome that you got chosen to do a pick for the club with Brent. That's really cool.
Oh, Keith got a.
Keith signed up for Mellow Moments, and in his Mellow Moments sign up, he actually got.
Good for you, Keith, man. That is awesome. That's super cool. So here's what's really funny. I helped a guy last year who I work with get into Mellow Moments at work. He got in, and then he got to go do the barrel pick. Maybe it was like 2 years ago he got in, but then he got to go do the barrel pick. And he's like, dude, it's just I think he was a little nervous because he's like, I feel like my palate's terrible compared to everybody. I'm like, dude, your palate's gonna be fine. You're gonna know what's good or bad. It's gonna be fine. And he loved it. So that's super cool. I'm happy for you guys that you were able to get in, man.
Frankie, I think if you've watched our review and you've seen us talk about the Green River Rye, the Green River Rye is just really good. And how would I put it against other ryes especially this year? I would say it's probably one of the top ryes this year.
It's pretty good. It's up there. The only thing I'll say about it, and this is not in any way, shape, form a disrespectful thing, I think it's a very good thing. It's an off-profile Kentucky rye.
Yeah.
So a Kentucky rye to me is going to be much more sweet, much more. Are you okay over there?
Mm-hmm.
You're super gassy just right now.
I just burped.
I know.
It happens.
But it is very much a Kentucky rye in the sense it's sweet. If you are a big bourbon guy and you're not a big rye guy, it's much more approachable than like a traditional rye, where it's more like a traditional rye is more like dill and earthy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that. So,
Michael, she liked the fudge from Green River. That's awesome. I should have gotten some, but I wasn't even thinking about that stuff when I checked out.
All right.
They should be clean.
Just making sure. I
Yeah.
was like, make sure.
They
I'll
should be
I'll
clean.
let you decide because we got to open both of them tonight.
Do we have to open both of them?
I mean, I guess we don't, but you can.
We can. Let's do that one.
Okay. Hey, Robert. How's it going, bud?
What's up, bud?
So let's see. We have the new Remus 8. We're gonna do reviews on these, but haven't opened them yet. So we'll open them, let them breathe at least. We got the new Remus 8, and then the new Penelope Estate. I think it's Estate.
It is a
state collection. This is
select.
a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, 9 years old, private select. I just picked this up from Kroger. Was it last week? It's last week.
Yeah, Ron, it is a nice hoodie. Sorry, my zip-up hoodie is in the car. I didn't feel like going to get it.
Ron, I just want to point out who's repping and who's not.
Gary, I would guess since all of the Haunt on the Hill is done, that the William Heaven Hills will start dropping soon. I would guess.
Am I saying tomorrow? Maybe.
He's not saying tomorrow.
But I'm not saying tomorrow.
But he's not saying tomorrow. I would say sometime in the next week.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow.
Gary, if you know about Heaven Hill. They normally like to do some trick-or-treating. So
They do like to do some tricks and some treats.
What's up, Dennis? Finally happy to see you, bud.
Yeah, what's up, Dennis? Yeah, sorry about Monday as well. We had it planned, and our internet did not.
Yeah, that day.
Our internet did not
at all
cooperate with us
Yeah.
whatsoever. So, thanks for everybody who's jumped on here.
Oh, what's up, Biking for Bourbon? How's it going, bud? Also, a big shout out to Ron. So we haven't started talking about Green River yet, but whenever we do, honestly, Green River doesn't happen without Ron. So I always talk about this.
Ron, this is not orange. This is red.
It's definitely not green, Ron. You just remember that.
It's red. Although in this light, it does kind of look orange.
What's the color between orange and red there? Somebody in the chat help me with this. Is it
Yeah.
coral? Coral,
No.
maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
But anyways, Ron, again, he's awesome. He helps out a lot of channels behind the scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of big channels, a lot of small channels. Ron,
Blood
Ron's one of our
orange.
people.
I like
Blood
it.
orange. There you go.
Yeah. It's definitely blood orange.
Honestly, this just smells like odor MGP, but not dusty MGP.
Yeah. I mean, 9 year. That's kind of old.
William, have you tried the 15-year light whiskey Penelope put out? And also, this is like crazy. So there are certain Penelope things I like and love and don't. Oh, you gonna open that tonight?
No. I still don't want to open it yet.
It's so good. It's like sneaky good. There's a couple like really sneaky bottles. Maybe that would be a good video, like sneaky contenders for whiskey of the year. I'm gonna write that down in my notes. I think that actually might be a good one. Ron, we can't read that email. I think we'll get a check, we'll get told no by YouTube.
Yeah, that. Needless to say, was not a great email.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Jason?
I will tell you guys really quick. We had an email that was sent to us. If you were on the pick team, I kind of talked about it. Ron actually read it.
Some of those guys are probably still driving home.
Probably. Well, some of them had a long drive. Like Was Josh's drive like 6 hours or something?
Josh and
Todd
both.
Yeah.
They live right 10
And they
minutes
live
from
right
each other.
next to each other.
Yeah,
They
they
grew
live
up
10
separate,
minutes
yeah.
from each other. So if you guys are watching on your way home, be safe going home.
Yeah, love you guys.
Yeah.
Excellent team today. Like, honestly, well, let's just get into Green River really quick.
Yeah.
Well,
Jason, the pick was good, but
let me back up. Let me get to the email really quick.
oh yeah, the email.
Basically, this person sent us an email. He was very kind in the first email he sent us. He was basically trying to figure out ways to find Dusties.
Yeah.
And who to get in contact with. I didn't see it went to our social folder. And then today I woke up super early and I'm going
And that's
through.
one that we don't always check, or it just kind of like, for if it doesn't go to our real email or whatever.
Oh yeah, there are sometimes like people.
We just don't.
We've
We
had
just
people,
don't always see it.
We've had people send us emails that are like awesome opportunities. They just go to spam.
Yeah.
Or social.
Yeah.
The social photo, whatever. So, but anyways, the next email was not as friendly.
No.
Told us to go sit and choke on something that we can't really talk about here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which was lovely.
Yeah.
And then he went on to talk about how his collection was better than ours and how ours was trash and our wives didn't know what we were doing. So of course the first person I showed the email to was my wife, because she's like, I wonder if he thinks that you don't have a YouTube, or like, I don't know that you don't do YouTube.
Yeah.
Or she's like, or does he think that she doesn't know, or like, that he's into bourbon.
Yeah.
So it was funny. But that person, I'm pretty sure, is not subscribed to our channel anymore. Or if he is, hopefully he's watching this right now.
Maybe. Anthony, I've never really had a good experience with Murray Hill, so I'm gonna take your word for it. Not to say that I haven't, but that I wouldn't.
I've seen that, Blake.
Blake, why you write emails like that, man?
Now, Blake would have been actually much funnier, and he wouldn't have misspelled palate.
Yeah. That's probably true.
He also misspelled palate, and so I was like, well, that takes out Blake and Gary, and, it takes out some people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Blake, how you doing, buddy? Okay. So the nose is good. There's a little like orange, like cutie, like citrus to it. And then it's just a lot of like traditional, just like kind of like odor. I don't want to say old MGP, dusty MGP, nothing like that. But it's just like, it has like an odor profile to that.
Yeah.
On the nose. A little brown sugar, a little oak.
I feel like I can't even give it a good
That's a fresh crack too.
Eval, because
brown sugar on it's actually really nice. Almost has like a little bit of like a Rick House kind of taste to it. I don't know if it's just because we were just doing a barrel picking one today, or so I'm used to that smell.
Yeah. Anthony, here's the truth. Hopefully it's not worse than that. Just saying.
I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't nothing.
What's up, Ben?
I won't say that there isn't. Boys. What's up, Ben? Ben was one of the guys who...
And Ben lives down by Green River, so his trek was...
He was there. So
I want to give a shout out to Barrelheads too. If you're ever in Owensboro, you go to Green River, do anything at Green River. Do yourself a favor, go to Barrelheads. It's a liquor store / there's a Little Caesars beside it. There's also it's like a gas station, all kind of in a big shopping area.
That sounds awesome.
It's like a new build, but the bar there is awesome. He has just about everything that you would want to try to drink on. Great price, great dude. Just a really, really good place. So if you're ever in Owensboro, do yourself a favor, go right over there.
Hey, Michael's here too. He was one of the guys who was on the pick with us as well.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's talk about Green River. We all showed up. We started our day early at 10.
Yeah.
It was us. Ron was there. Had Michael that was there. had Ben that was there, had
Yeah.
Josh that was there, and Todd. We had one more, and he had to bow out, sick kid, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Last minute. Basically, we kind of got a tour. Like,
we did do a
know,
tour.
Like, I don't know how detailed it was. I'm assuming it was just kind of a quicker version.
Well, they were on. They're on a 2-week shutdown too.
Yeah.
So none of their processes that you would get to normally see. It was a very quiet tour. Which if you've ever done a tour, if you've ever done a tour at a distillery, kind of it's always when they go back into the area, it's kind of loud and it's kind of in your face. This was the quietest tour I've ever been on.
It was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was really nice actually.
Now to be fair,
Wes did a good job too.
I work. No, Blake, we did not get Jet in with. Actually, I was on chauffeur duty today, and I was Ron's personal secretary. He's like, "Hey, can you call Dan Shook for me?" I'm like, "Sure." So I would call Dan, and then Dan in the barrel pick, he's calling me. He's like, "Oh, can I talk to Ron?" I'm like, "Yes, one second. Mr. Miles, here you go." So
yeah. Hey, Jason, we did not get headsets when we went on Bardstown tour. But
we didn't need them.
Yeah, we didn't need them.
We were good.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we did all of that. We went and did the pick in one of the rick houses. They're actually really nice. They have like this big green river, like mural, whatever, on the wall.
Yeah.
They even had like Bourbon Kingdom on the bottom part of it, which is very common.
It was permanent. I think that was permanent.
What Wes doesn't know is I went over it with the Sharpie.
And
so it ain't never going away. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we went there. We had 4. I think out of the 4 barrels that they pulled for us, I think we had 3 really good ones.
Yes.
And I think one of them was just really off profile. It wasn't as bad. It was just muted compared to the other 3.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And we all kind of eliminated that one pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I think what was really funny is whenever we went around, we all tried one. And one was like, one to me, whenever I first had, I was like, if that's not going to be the pick, we got bangers. All of them are bangers. And one ended up winning for us. And we blinded it. And, really, whenever we were, Ron, no, the secretary thing will never get let down at all. Because you were working as I was driving you everywhere. But what I liked was we had 2 of them. And what did we blind? Did we blind 1 and 3?
We blinded 1 and 3 together.
1 and 3 together. So 1 came off Buffalo Trace kind of profile, in my opinion. A little bit more fruity, red fruit kind of forward. And then 3, which was 4 Roses kind of profile, like with a spicy kind of finish. Stuff like that. We blinded it.
Yeah.
And I think Ben, did you pick 3? I think Ben maybe was the only person that maybe picked 3, but it was close. Like we all kind of agreed, like it was close. But we all agreed on the 1. What's up, Tommy? And we went with that. And honestly, like I was extremely happy with that.
Yeah.
And I was very, very happy. And I was like, man, we got some awesome. We got an awesome first barrel. It's not a short barrel, but there's not many of them. I forget how many he said. I think we're thinking between 120 and 130 bottles.
He said 20 cases, 21 cases, something like that.
Yeah, I think there was like some debate if it would be between 20 and 21, which will shake out to about 120 to 130 bottles, somewhere in there.
Josh, yes, basically he called it a cask strength. So Wes called it cask strength. So
yeah, and it's going to be. The good thing is too. That's the second one. The good thing about this pick is it's getting barreled in 11 days.
Yeah.
So it's not going to hardly change. The first one's going to be 134 proof, and it's just so good.
Yeah, it is good.
I feel very, very lucky that we got that one as our first pick. Very, very happy with it. Then,
hey, Gary, yes, the shirts do feel good. So we'll see.
Yeah. Jason, it is and Rob, yeah, it's a crazy turnaround. We just honestly,
we are the last barreling for them this year.
Yeah. We're not the last ones to do a pick.
No, but we're the last ones to get barreled.
We're the last ones in
2024.
Yeah.
So ours will get barreled in 2024. So
and then an opportunity came up for another barrel, and I won't go into the details of it or whatever because behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But plus Ron's in here. I can't let Ron know that I'm telling everybody everything.
Yeah.
So secretary can't let the secrets out.
Yeah,
but
Ben just said shh.
Yeah, I know, right? But basically, so we have another barrel, and we tried that one. And what was hilarious is, so we all loved the first one. Like, we all really did like it. We were all very happy with it. We're like, dude, this is great.
Yeah.
And there's like a few picks I think of, like whenever I think of like Green River, like the best version of it.
Yeah.
And one of them is the 135 proof one that Cox's did. It was like one of the first ones they did. It was awesome. And I'm like, dude, that one just blows out of the water, in my opinion. And I know that's what everybody's going to say with their picks. Like, it's just whatever. But like, I'm really happy with it. Wes, who does this all the time, he's like, honestly, I think it's one of the best barrels we've done.
Have we just said who we're putting the barrels through? I mean,
yeah, it'll be through Bourbon Outfitters.
Yeah, Bourbon Outfitters
with Ryan Alves. So
yeah.
Then this other barrel comes up, and we all go try it, and we're all like, it's just better. Like, it's better than the first one. And it's wild how much better it is. And before I could say it, Todd actually said it. He's like, so if that first one that we have is more Buffalo Trace profile, this one is darker, which I totally agree with the profile of it. And he's like, this one almost drinks more like Brown Foreman to me, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be a smaller barrel. We're not totally sure on the count.
Yeah.
But it's going to be smaller. So there's not, I'll be very surprised it goes through a couple tiers with our channel. We'll talk more about that on Patreon.
Yeah.
But honestly, guys, it is just, it's a doozy. Like, and Ron, Ron's in here. He's had a whole bunch of Green River picks, and I know how much he loved it. Yeah, Ben's in here, who was on pick with us today. I'm gonna be having dreams about number 2. I totally agree with you. It's blows my mind how good that thing is. And I don't like overhyping stuff. Like, because we see this a lot on, and it could be anybody's Patreon. So I'm not pointing at names. So it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, blah, blah, blah. This thing is wildly good.
Raspberry House, are you asking like what it costs to actually do the barrel pick? Because I mean, generally speaking, it's not anything to do a barrel pick other than you're agreeing to pay for a barrel of whiskey. So,
so Ron Miles, who's on the pick with us today, he just said, the one like Parker's Heavy Char 10-year bourbon, incredible. Our first pick is a fruity sweet bomb. So you take what Ron said about that one. Ron's had quite a few Green Rivers, and it, like I said, it's just up there. And I think, and whenever Wes was drinking on it, it's hilarious because even he kind of shook his head like, wow, like he was like,
yeah,
man, that's incredible. So I'm really happy about that. I think, hey, what's going on, Jeff? I think we're very lucky that we got the second one.
Yes.
So
yeah, for sure.
I that is something that won't be an every kind of thing, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if there's a better Green River pick out there, I'm very confident. I'm confident in putting both those up against it, but especially number 2.
Yeah.
So, but what's also cool, yeah, Ron's like, I'm convinced Wes was going to bottle it for himself. Poor Wes. So anyways, and what's really cool about both of them, they're both different profiles, where one is darker kind of characteristics on number 2, and one is a little bit lighter and fruitier. Not in the sense of lighter, like there's not proof there, because there's good proof there.
Yeah, they're both about the same proof, aren't they?
I think actually one's a little bit higher proof.
Bourbon Kingdom 1 is 134, and the other one's 133.7. So they're basically,
they're basically the same.
Basically the same.
But there's definitely going to be a lot more of one than.
Yes, there'll be more of one for sure. And both of them are what I would consider short barrels.
I wouldn't consider one a short barrel.
Medium barrel?
Yeah, it's probably fair.
Yeah.
I mean, most time whenever I look at anything that's a short barrel, that is something like sub 100. So, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I don't know what professionally people consider that, but
Yeah.
you know, we definitely don't have anything that's like 200 bottle range. So
No.
okay,
Yes.
so overall,
Josh, that's a good way to put it. Schmedium.
Schmedium, kind of what Ron likes to wear shirt wise.
Yeah.
So this is good, not great.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
So
Yeah, I agree.
nothing, anything to fall in love with, but nothing, honestly, like there's nothing offensive.
What's the
about
cost
this.
of that?
I don't know.
$80, $90.
I think my place where I got this from is priced, and I think it was pretty cheap. I think I spent like $70 on it, and I shouldn't have spent $70 on it.
Yeah.
Like I think I kind of got a deal.
Both went into the barrel in 2019. DeWalt. So what is that? 4.5 years.
Yeah.
I think it may be even on here.
Kirk, we have not seen any Old Fitz 13 in a hot minute at Heaven Hill. If I had to guess, and I'm not saying, but I'm pretty sure they're out or they're holding them until the Holiday on the Hill event. I think now they're on Parker's, and then soon to be William Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
Justin, I agree. I have a theory about short barrels. I think short barrels, you get a little bit more characteristics out of it. I'm not saying that you always get that, but I think there is something about a good short barrel at times. So I'm not going to say this is for sure a buy as of right now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily say it's a pass either. I think it's kind of like, I think it's definitely a try before you buy.
Yeah.
But we'll see what a little air does, and we'll see how it opens up a little bit.
It's a good idea. All right. Well, tell everybody about your great.
Oh wait. Well, yeah, I guess.
Your great.
All right.
Jack Daniels event.
He doesn't get mad or jealous of me a lot, but when
I'm not happy about that.
But when he does, he makes this face and the sound in his voice, and you can tell he's upset. The good thing is, I think I think I'm invited back next year, and I think you're going to be invited next year.
I hope so.
So you just got to go.
Well, hopefully it's not on fall break.
Well, just don't plan a vacation.
Yeah, that's easier said than done.
Oh, I'm sure the kids won't.
Brent, I definitely need a nap.
He look, to be fair, so he went out to Barrelheads. I had to drive Ron home because Ron had to get home because as his personal secretary, I'd drive him everywhere today. So I didn't get the privilege to go to Barrelheads with him. I imagine if I would have loved it, but I did get to go home and take like a 45-minute nap, which was kind of nice.
I did not.
Yeah. All right. So Jack Daniels. So for everybody who doesn't know, Jack Daniels hosts one of the world's biggest barbecue competitions. It is not in the world of barbecue, there's basically the Kansas City Bourbon or Barbecue Society. They're kind of like the main ones who kind of govern stuff. They do a point system. There's just, everybody's always trying to get points. And at the end of the year, whoever has the most wins. But for the Jack Daniels competition, it's basically invite only, and you have to be a grand champion. So for everybody who doesn't know barbecue, there's 4 categories. There is pork, chicken, brisket, and rib. Jack Daniels also does a sauce category.
Yeah.
They do a homemade category, which is like a wild card, so you can kind of make whatever you want. And then they make a dessert. You don't have to participate in the dessert or the homemade or the sauce, but you do have to participate in the other 4.
Yeah.
So Jack Daniels invited us down there to be judges. He couldn't go, I could. And it was, I told him this, and I said, I'm not saying this to rub it into your face or whatever else. We've got to do a lot of awesome things with this channel, barrel picks, meet people, go to parties, drink with a lot of you all. That was honestly the coolest thing I've got to do with the channel. Yeah. They flew me down. They put me up in they put me up in the Omni right off Broadway. Super nice. And they flew me down the day before we had to go down to Jack Daniels. And then we went there. The people who hosted us were super kind, super nice. They did an incredible job. You gonna make it over there?
I'm I'm good.
I had to go through
You're right, Gary. I'm not happy about him talking about this.
They basically put us into a class and we learned how to judge. We learned because there's certain how you basically judge is you look at the presentation of it, the tenderness of it, the taste of it, and you judge it. Essentially, it's not quite 1 through 9, but it's kind of like 1 through 9. If you give it like a 1 or a 2, that can like disqualify them or whatever. But typically, everything we're eating there, we're not getting anything like that. Something like to be like a 1 or a 2 has to be like undercooked, has to be bad in some way, shape, or form. They're not going to have anything like that there because everybody's a grand champion from a state. Each state is represented, then teams from all around the world are represented as well.
Yeah.
And so we go through that whole class. We go back to hotel. We go back to Jack Daniels. They tour us around. We get to drink stuff. That was where I had this amazing Coke slushy there. It's like an icy. Oh, dude, it was fire. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
We got to do that. We went back to our hotel. Then we got everything set there. Then we went to this big party on top of the hill at Jack Daniels. I posted some pictures of that. Dude, it is so nice. In talking, they had all their employees up there. They had a bunch of the teams up there. The food was amazing. All this awesome stuff. And my biggest takeaway is and this is like everything in life, you walk around either your job or you go into like a Walmart or a bank or a doctor's office, wherever you're going into. And like you rarely find like places where everybody just loves to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody at Jack Daniels loved being there. And they loved having you there.
Yeah.
Like they loved that you were there visiting their family and everything else. And it was so refreshing. Like it's very rare to find distilleries like that. It's very rare to find any kind of business like that with that many employees because there's a ton.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming there's some employees that don't love to be there.
Sure.
But man, they are just salt of the earth kind of people and just so nice. And, Chris was down there. Everybody from their president down to like the newest hire that started 2 weeks ago was there.
Yeah.
And they were all so kind. You couldn't tell anything different. So really appreciated that from them. And they were so nice to me the entire time. And they're super awesome. So, but anyways, we did all of that. A bunch of us went back who were part of the media team and judges. We all went back to the hotel. We were drinking, they brought some Coy Hill. They brought some other like, Tennessee tasters and stuff like that. So we stayed up a little late drinking. Then next day we go to the competition, and the competition we're in like this tent. And what was cool is we were in like this open tent where we get to, they're bringing us food all the time. Like it's just like wave after wave of stuff. And like, I feel very privileged, like where I can say like, I've ate at some pretty nice restaurants.
Yeah.
My wife's a great cook. If my wife is watching this, I tell her all the time, like I'm spoiled because she works and she's a great cook. So like I have the best of both worlds. But literally, I'm trying all this stuff. I'm like, I'm eating the best ribs of my life. I'm eating the best brisket of my life. And these plates are full of meat and food and everything else. And you're only trying like a little sliver.
And you have to judge it.
And I have to judge it.
Yeah.
And like, there would be occasionally, like the guy would look at me, he's like, "You're doing all right." Like my table judge, he's like, "Okay, you're doing okay. You're kind of in line." And then there was one time I gave one sample thing a 7. He's like, "They all gave it 9s. Why do you give it a 7?" I'm like, "I think I had like an end and it was just dry." And he's like, "It was dry, huh?" Like he kind of looked at me like, "Huh, really? You think it's dry?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, me, like, I don't care what anybody thinks. Like I'm sitting down there just having a great time. But something that was super cool about this competition, unlike other competitions, is you can actually sit around and watch people being judged.
Yeah.
So in other places you don't get to watch. So some of these teams you'd figure out because you don't know who you're judging.
Yeah.
But some of these teams, like on the homemade section, in the dessert section, they're so exotic on what they look like. You'll see these teams kind of like peek over and looks like, oh, that's ours. And they're looking at our expressions and everything else. And so, but the other really cool thing is, and there was a couple guys, I know Gary Porzak, we could actually take samples of what we had and give them to people in the crowd. So there was a couple people down there who knew me.
Yeah.
And they're like, Zach. And I would be like in the middle of judging. I'm like, one second, I got a rib. And so I would tell my table judge, I'm like, because, you know, a lot of the table judges, they're going to try everything that we have too. I'm like, hey, I'm going to take some of this over there. They're like, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead. And so I was taking all this, and like this one couple was down there I gave some ribs to. And they're like, I thought I could, because like the one guy's like, man, I come down here every year because like I'm trying to figure out tips. And he's like, man, I'm debating about trying to get into a competition over ribs. And so I took him some ribs, and he's like, what'd you rank these? I was like, these were 9s, but these weren't the best 9s we had. He's like, this is the greatest rib I've ever had in my life. I'm like, I know, isn't it wild?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm critiquing a rib here to another rib, even though that's not what you're supposed to do. But I'm like, that's how like amazing it was. So.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Todd? I hope you're either home or you're close to home.
Yeah.
By the way, Gary, looking back, the Holiday on the Hill, I think it's going to be an open event this year.
Yeah, we'll
but we will kind of, once we hear completely, we will definitely put it on Patreon.
Yeah, I'll talk about Holiday. Let me finish Jack Daniels, and then I'll talk Holiday on the Hill. So we do all that. We get to the homemade section. There's like crazy things. Like there was homemade chili dogs that was amazing. There was a tomahawk steak that was amazing. There was lobster tail that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like just all these things. The desserts were wild. My favorite dessert was like a blueberry cheesecake, like with like a bottom crust of like cookie dough or something, with a homemade milkshake.
Yeah.
Banana split milkshake. Dude, it was by far blew my expectations out of the water. It was awesome. And I hope I get to go down there and be a judge every year.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I will look at saving vacation time for that.
Yeah.
And just to let you all know, you can get into doing the barbecue judging thing because they always need judges.
Yeah.
So if you just want to go around and eat good barbecue, you can do that.
Sign up to be a judge.
And then you go through a class. I think class costs like nothing, or like $25 or something. And then after you do so many of these, you apply to like do the Jack Daniels or the Memphis in May event.
Yeah.
And then you're good. Like you're trying the best barbecue in the world. It's awesome. So,
hey, Joe,
what's going on, buddy? So anyway, so after that, after I ate about 18 pounds worth of food, they drove us back to Nashville. A bunch of them went out, and I was like, I'm going to bed, and I slept for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I literally slept for 6 hours. I was just like so out of it.
Yeah.
I just needed sleep. I woke up to the UK Vanderbilt game, which was not a great game.
It was probably a terrible way to
wake up.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, flew, and then the next day I flew home. It was, like I said, it was a super awesome experience. And what I am so incredibly grateful for is because of you guys, that experience was able to happen. Because honestly, without you guys watching the channel, supporting the channel, loving the channel, we don't get to do cool things like that. Like same thing with Green River today. Like without you guys supporting and loving the channel, we don't get to do cool things. So we're very grateful for it. Seriously.
Always.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Holiday on the Hill event. I can't say for sure what I think it's going to be. I have a pretty good idea what it's going to be, but they've had some restructuring down there, so who knows what will change and what won't change.
Yeah.
But I believe how it's going to be this year is going to be an open event, which it's been an open event for years.
Yeah.
They've just had different tastings you can get a part of.
Yeah, different tiers of.
And I don't know if I'd say
I don't tiers, but different offerings, I guess.
Yeah, offerings of tastings. And then normally whatever you would taste through, you got the opportunity to buy.
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do this year is just have a really big open event. I don't know what that's going to look like with drinks or whatever, but I think then they might just raffle off bottles during the event.
Yeah.
So, but don't hold me to that. So I don't know if you're going to need a ticket or not. Like, I don't know if it's just one of those you get to show up and and then you raffle, and then they.
I feel like they're still going to have to do tickets regardless because, I mean, I don't know how many people can be housed in there, but
Well, I'll say this: the KBF event,
yeah, the KBF event had like 500 people there.
I think it
so,
had closer to 600.
yeah, it was a lot.
And that place was pretty packed. For anybody who, what's up, Tom? For anybody who was at the KBF event, I think you can probably vouch for that. It was literally, they did not have enough stuff set up for lines. Outside of that, I thought the event was fine.
Yeah,
Like the food was good. They did, I think, a cool job setting up like the SCAR stuff
yeah,
and whatnot. I just think the whole thing, they just needed kind of more stations.
they did need more stations,
And they would have been fine. But I mean, it was packed.
Yes,
Super
it was
packed.
definitely packed.
But anyways, Richard,
Steve, you're right. After we're done with this live stream, I will be taking my talents to my bed and going to sleep.
Ron did put Rob wasn't here on both barrels.
He did.
So what was I going to say? Oh, Richard, Google Kansas City Barbecue Society, and it should take you to. You should be able to find on there how to become a judge. So you might have to do some stuff locally to do some judging to get, because everybody applies to be a judge at the Jack Daniels one, and then they kind of pick through there. They'll pick people with a variety of experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and there's people that go there every year who don't necessarily always come back. There's a lot of people there who's been doing it. Like there was a couple guys there who's been doing it for like 30 plus years, which is wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's Holiday on the Hill. I think that's about everything. Comes all that stuff. So,
yeah.
What about this Remus? Have you tried the Remus yet?
I took a drink of it, and
smells good.
Yeah, it's fine. And I feel like my palate's shot today. So trying to drink on some things.
Steven, yes, that's true. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays only.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Don't you have a Remus around here somewhere?
I have a 5 back there somewhere.
No, I don't want to drink against 5. That ain't really fair. I thought you had like a 7 or something, or a 6.
Nope. Only have the 5 here.
Is that just me?
Yeah, you have the 6 and the 7 at your house.
I know it's not as good as 5.
Yeah.
I won't drink your good stuff on that one. So I think this is good. Again, I don't know if this is great.
What's the price of that now? $125?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to get those total wine points. Those grain reserve rewards.
Get all them.
Rob, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I feel like it
gets a little bit better though.
I feel like I need to wait till my palate is not shot to actually give it a fair evaluation. It does smell good though.
Yeah, it does. There's a little bit of like gristle, like from barbecue. I know this is crazy because we were just talking about barbecue so much, but a little bit of that. A little bit of like a burnt in.
Yeah, I could get on that.
A little bit of strawberry jam too on that palate. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that more than the Penelope.
So true, Todd. You got to get a lot of points to get into the Grand Wizards level of.
But here's the thing. I get it. Like, it's such a pain now. But, if I didn't have the channel, I would for sure not be a part of it.
Yeah.
But I try to figure out some ways to buy some expensive bottles there.
Yeah.
Because, it did work out for me last year. Like, I got a Heaven Hill 18.
Yeah.
I got some Four Roses LEs.
Yeah.
Just from the drops. I didn't win anything on that. And if I would have just been a little bit earlier, I would have gotten a King Kentucky 18 year.
Just the King. tad bit.
If I just would have went, but I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't think they had them. But if I would have known, I would have went early.
Yeah.
But now I know. So, Greg from Dave's Blanton Pick grabbed a birthday bourbon from Total Wine, going to have some pours with him on Friday. Oh, nice. When did Greg get a birthday bourbon?
No telling.
I don't know. Jim's holding out on us. Yeah, Keith, it was actually so I don't know if I've ever told this story. I think I have, but I can't remember if I don't think I've told it in a long time. So for the new people. So last year, Total Wine in Louisville, they released their I think everybody was doing their, like, Indianapolis, Lexington, everybody was doing it. So the St. Matthews one had 5 on their thing. It said 5 King Kentucky 18 years on their email. So they had like a line starting 2 days out.
Ben, that does not surprise me that you are a KCBS certified barbecue judge.
Oh, nice. There you go. Respect. I just tapped this. Hopefully I didn't turn it off. So with that, I was like, well, I can't line up for 2 days because I had work, but I'll go the night before to the one over in the paddocks. And I went there. I think I got there around like 4. I left work a little early and I got there at 4 and I was like 5th. So I was like, nah, I got 4 hours. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And whenever I got there, there was this guy. He was like walking around the parking lot and he was like kind of acting like he was acting really uneasy and really weird. And he was the first chair in line. I show up there. There's these guys from Indianapolis. They don't shop at the Indianapolis Total Wine. They only shop at the one down here. And which is crazy to me that they've bought so much. And the guys were like, well, we just kind of like, they're like, well, we don't really have a relationship with Liquor Barn or Cox's, but we have one with this Total Wine here.
Yeah.
So whenever we come down here and we hunt bourbon, we always kind of stay down here and we shop here and we buy things and we pick it all up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they were in line and they were kind of asking me like, what do you think they'll have? I'm like, I don't really know. And I was like, probably some E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, probably some Michter's 10-year, probably some Four Roses LEs, maybe a Heaven Hill 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Those were fresh coming out. And the guy who was number 1, he was like, again, he was acting really weird and kind of tweaking almost. I'm pretty sure he was tweaking. He's like, yeah, so the guy that sent me here was like, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof is like the best bottle. And I was like,
okay. I
literally said, okay. And then he went to his car and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go get some coffee. Do y'all want coffee? I'm like, I don't think you need coffee. He's like, well, I'm going to run over to this gas station. So he goes over to the gas station. The guy's like, dude, he's been like this all night. We don't know if he's on meth or whatever he's on, but he is like tweaking hard.
Rob, you'll do a lot of shots if you are catching all my yawns.
That'd be a rough game to play.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
also good get, William. That's awesome.
So, oh, very nice. So the guys were in front of me. They were like, yeah, he's basically muling for a guy who's 6th in line over at the St. Matthew store. And that guy was kind of arguing with the store manager over there about you should have a King Kentucky 18-year over here because they come in cases of 6, which is not how that always works. Like, if a store might be only allocated 4, they're still going to get a case. There's just going to be 2 empty spots. Like, it just all kind of depends.
Yeah.
So she kind of got mad with him, and she's like, I will shut all this down if you don't get back in line and shut up, basically. So he gets back in line. He calms down. But, he's still kind of like stirring the pot over there a little bit. So I find that out. I kind of laugh out. I don't think much about it. Store opens. There is 1 King Kentucky 18-year sitting there. And that guy walks up, and he's like all nervous. And then he's like, I want an E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. And the guys who were in front of me, they were all from Indy. They were super nice, super kind, super cool guys.
Yeah.
They talk about everything they've gotten and everything. Like, they open everything. Just super great guys. And those guys looked at me because they knew me from the channel.
Yeah.
And I said, if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. And the store manager there looked at me. I was like, if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. And he took it. And then he took that bottle and he drove it right over to the guy that he was mulling for,
Yeah.
and gave it to him to sell. So I didn't feel bad for that guy whatsoever. But what was funny is those guys in front of me, and like everybody was just shocked, like he just totally skipped over that bottle. That guy who was in line found out what happened because I text everybody.
Yeah.
Jay was like a spot or two behind me, I think, or a couple of spots behind me. And like we were sitting there like just shocked.
Yeah. I would be shocked too.
It was, but I was super happy for those guys. And then that guy was like he was obviously very upset.
Yeah.
And I kind of told him, I was like, look, man, like the guys who got it, they wanted it. Like, I know you wanted it for the money and stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's pretty great. Shoot 80. Yeah, shoot 80 proof. Keith, I still think you're probably going to get pretty tanked on that.
I feel like I just want to yawn just to yawn now and make Rob drink.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Who's texting you?
About the car.
Oh, yeah. Is all that going okay, by the way?
It's a bad alternator and weak battery. So
that ain't gonna be cheap.
Actually,
it's a Honda. It might not be as terrible.
It may not be too bad.
Yeah.
It's a 2007 too, so hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, I know. All right. I kind of want some of the Remus 5 now. By the way, somebody else emailed me and I just seen the Remus 5. I didn't even open it. So you can deal with all of that. Do you want to, Glenn?
No, I'm good. I don't need to drink anything else today. I'm tired. I don't feel great.
You don't feel great?
Nah, for some reason I've had a headache.
I've had like a headache like 2 days.
A low-grade headache all day, and so just thanks, Joe. I don't want to know how you know that a Honda alternator is $125, but I appreciate that.
Man, I won't lie. This Remus 5 is just so dang good. So I'm trying to think. So the Green River, Ron, are you still in here by chance? If so, what kind of turnaround is on that Green River? I know it's like 11 days, but he might not be in here.
Yeah, he may not be.
So anyways, so this will be done. We'll have this pick sometime, whatever it is, late November, early December. We'll put this up on Patreon. And then starting in next year, in January, I was just talking to Dan on the phone. I've talked to him last 2 days. It's been quite pleasant.
Yeah. Justin, my vacation was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun.
We don't know whenever the 24 King Kentuckys are going to hit, but I will say word on the street is they're not great so far. At least the media sample they sent out is not great.
What?
The King Kentuckys.
Oh.
So normally the media samples are pretty good. Like they kind of know what they're doing with that.
Yeah.
But we're not hearing the greatest. Oh, you see, Joe, just use Google. Just use the power of Google.
The old Google machine. I hear you. I got 2 rounds in. Gary asked me how many rounds of golf I got in.
Oh, on vacation?
Yeah, 2.
How'd you play, by the way?
Okay.
Yeah, fair. So, anyway, also didn't talk about something else on Jack Daniel's trip. We're going to get we should be able to do a barrel pick with Jack Daniel's.
Yeah.
So I kind of talking about barrel picks. I forgot all about that. So I think we kind of have some leeway whenever we want to schedule that. So I don't know when we'll do it, but we'll figure out time and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll have the option to do bourbon or rye, so it won't really matter. I'll talk to him about seeing if I can get a shorty Jack Daniels.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Joe, so I heard a little bit of it. I just seen the email briefly, but it sounds like a guy who helped. I think it was like help bottle some stuff. He put it out there on the secondary and all that stuff. So it sucks, but I get it. So, man, what was I getting ready to say? So we have the Jack Daniels pick. Something else, we will be going probably January at some point in time. My work schedule is getting ready to change. I'm getting ready to switch shifts, so I don't know when I'll be switching shifts.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure all that out. I know that thumbs up thing. I hate that.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, fair. Steven, I tried my best to be able to try that. I got to try some things down there that was interesting. That was not one of them I got to try. I was like, I got to try some finished stuff that was kind of like, not great. And I was like, man, y'all couldn't pull out that 14 for anybody. But I don't think it's ready.
Yeah.
I don't think they're done blending it or whatever. I don't even know if they've started blending it. So.
And they won't put it out till they're ready anyway.
No. So. And I think it comes out next year.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming out this year. I think it's next year. So we'll go do the Evernorth pick in January. Still, Austin will be sometime late February or late April, early May. Hopefully. And then I'm pretty confident we'll do another Green River. I'm pretty confident we'll do a Bardstown pick.
Yeah.
And then River Roots will be one if Cam doesn't take all the barrels.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple other ones we're working on.
Yeah.
Other ones we can talk about. We could do a new riff if we wanted to. We could do a Boone County if we wanted to. Obviously Jack Daniels. And yeah, there's a couple others we're still working on.
Yeah.
13th Colony is something that I am working on as well. I think if we do a 13th Colony one, I think we'll do something where we will do that as in like a meetup kind of thing here in Louisville. And then whatever bottles aren't sold, we will sell them through Patreon and do something like that. So, but we'll try to have something fun with that. Sean, yeah, it was not hard to spend your life savings at KBF. KBF was wild.
That's true.
And we're already hearing some different rumors about. I'm at least hearing some different rumors about KBF.
Night, Gary.
With some other things. So yeah, it will be. It will KBF next year, guys. I'll tell you all right now. It's a must do if possible.
Yeah.
So
for sure, do if possible.
But dress warm. Yes, Jim, you're definitely not wrong. Definitely dress warm. Also, Jim, is there going to be snow in March for a certain wedding that we're going to?
There could be.
I think there might be.
There definitely could be.
Oh, talking about rooms reserved. Are we for sure locked in on a house on KBF?
No, not completely. So
when are we going to get locked in?
I just need to talk to him more about it. I talked to him in passing about it, and that's what he said. So,
can we lock it in?
Yeah, we can lock it in.
Let's lock it in.
Okay.
Jim's like, very likely. I need to call Jim. Jim, I do need to call you because I need to ask you a question about something.
Yeah.
All right. Are we about good? We've been doing it for about 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're tired, exhausted.
I am
You're
tired.
ready to go to bed.
I am.
I'm gonna have an early morning tomorrow.
Mm.
You sure you just don't want to wake up and just want me to come pick you up and go to heaven in the morning?
No.
Sure.
I mean, I may show up there at like 8 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, you'll probably show up at like 11, so get whatever good bottle they drop.
Let's do it. Yeah. So we'll keep you all updated on when this Green River pick will come out and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of go from there. But other than that,
we'll have a tasting video too on Patreon. We'll give some tasting notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but as of right now, guys, awesome bottles today.
Yeah.
So
it was fun. A lot of fun. Thanks to the guys who showed up and kind of hung out with us on that day. And again, these opportunities will come up as barrel picks come up. So just kind of keep your Patreon notifications on and all that good stuff and check that kind of stuff out. So, all right. Well, till next time.
We'll see you.
We'll see you guys. Have a good night.